Cooking may be your passion and you may like to improve your culinary style or just want someone else to professionally cook for you. We'll learn more about the I Cook For You sensation right here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose to get lost in the woods to gain experience in forest management.
Choose to travel through time to understand the past.
Choose to soar to pursue a career in dance.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, a member of Geisinger, Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world, and South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. If you're like me and cooking is not your thing, you might want to consider a personal chef. Joining me is Gonzalez, Arroyo, who is a well-accomplished chef who has created a career out of the phrase, I cook for you. Jersey, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you for having me.
So I see on your shirt you have the I cook for you logo. It's your business, is a phrase. Tell me how you got started.
So I got started with my company, really started back then when I was a kid. I learned all of my cooking techniques from my grandma because my mother was a horrible cook. So
well, hopefully she's not watching today.
I hope not. Still love you, Mom. So when my grandma was alive, she essentially is who showed me the little techniques and the different types of Hispanic foods that we all learned to love. And I just carried that on throughout the years as I was growing up.
So what country was your grandmother from?
She's from Puerto Rico.
So Puerto Rican cuisine, which
Yes.
which I happen to love.
Yes.
So you learned that at an early age and kind of got the passion for cooking, and you went to school for it. Tell me about that.
I went to Johnson & Wales University in Rhode Island, and I also went for my bachelor's for hospitality management. I wanted to know everything there was to run a restaurant, although I never wanted to own my own restaurant.
Well, that was kind of key, right? Because you decided to open up your own business. Tell me how you got started.
So I got started, it was actually an accident. I was working at a restaurant when a guy came in and asked me to cook something that was completely off of the menu. It was at a Belgian restaurant, and he's asking me to make him something Italian. And I'm like, do you realize we're at a Belgian restaurant? I guess he was just testing me. So I went on ahead and made what he asked for. He absolutely loved it. Came back the next day with a couple of his friends, asked me to make food that is not on the menu again for him and all of his friends. Loved it so much. He handed me his card and said, please call my wife because she doesn't know how to cook. So I said, okay. So that's actually how I got started. And I called
You actually made that call?
Yeah, I made that phone call and I said, hey, your husband told me to give you a call. Can we set up a meeting and let's talk? So that's really how it all started. It was accidental.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for over 15 years.
Now, do you have other help as well besides you?
Yes, I do. When it starts to get a little bit overwhelming or I get too many clients at a time, I do hire professional chefs.
So typically, how do you do this? You prepare the food ahead, they heat it up, or do you actually serve the food? Tell me how you go about this.
I could serve the food. The soup could be served hot as well. You would just have to request that when we talk initially in our consultation. But the way that it goes is I come to your house, I take a look at your kitchen just to see what your kitchen looks like, the tools that you have. that, I ask you simple questions like what type of foods you like, are there any allergies to foods that you don't like, and I build a menu off of that. And I actually build a whole month's worth of menu, and there's something different that you eat every day.
Now, do you also help to get the ingredients? Do they provide the ingredients? How does that
Actually, I do everything. I do all of the cooking, all of the prepping, all of the cleaning. You don't have to do anything. I do the grocery shop, and I even clean your kitchen.
I'm sure my wife will love you because perhaps cleaning up after you cook is the hardest part of doing the task, which is probably why I don't like to cook. We're going to talk more. We want to talk a little bit about the Latino influence that you mentioned, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. We're once again here with personal chef Jersey Gonzalez Arroyo, and we were talking about how you started your company, I Cook For You. Great concept, but you also have the Latino influence in that cooking. Tell me a little bit about that influence.
So my Latino influence was really my grandmother, and she's the one who showed me all the tricks and the trades of the Spanish food. Not everyone can make Spanish food, I'm telling you, especially that rice. You need to get that right.
Especially the arroz con gandules,
Yes,
right? Tell me about some of those dishes.
Some of the dishes that I actually make all the time is like your pernil, ensalada de pulpo, relleno de papa, escabeche, arroz con gandules, pasteles. I can go on.
and don't forget the dessert. I mean.
And in desserts, you have your tres leches cakes, you have your flan, flancocho, chocolate flan.
And I love flan. So certainly well-rounded, but you're not limited to just the Spanish foods. And I see in your Instagram and some of the very typical dishes, whether it's Italian, American cuisine, you're pretty hands-on in terms of being able to create all those things. Do you still have a little bit of that Spanish flavor when you do those other dishes?
No, except for the music that I'm listening to while I cook it. No, when you're cooking those type of foods, you really want to stick to that because then it just really just changes the entire flavor of it. I love cooking Asian foods, and one of the pictures that you'll see is pad thai. It's fresh pad thai. It's so much fun, and you really want to just stick with the Asian ingredients and not really put some of that Spanish flavor, except for the music while you're cooking it.
Always good to have music while you're cooking. So what do your clients typically ask for? I mean, do they typically ask you for the Latino food, or it just varies?
It's funny because they do. A lot of them ask for Spanish food, so I always incorporate Spanish food into the menu whenever I redo the menus.
Now, do they basically tell you ahead of time, the dishes that they want for that week, or how does that work?
So the way that it works is I do a consultation with you, and I just ask you simple questions as far as like, what do you like to eat, what don't you like to eat, and if there's any allergies that I need to look for. And off of that consultation, that's how I build a menu, and I build a menu for the entire month. And you just review it. If you like it and approve it, we can go on from there.
So if people are like me, I just take whatever is being served. As long as it's good food, I'm happy, right?
I have some that are like that. They don't really care what it is that I cook as long as it's good.
Now, do you get the client involved in the cooking as well? Does some want to also participate when you're doing the cooking?
Not all the times. I find out that the kids like to be involved in the cooking more than the parents do. They come home, they're so tired, they're not worried about anything. But the kids, they're like, oh, what are you doing, chef? What are you making? Kind of want to help out sometimes.
Now, obviously, the timing of when the food is prepared plays a big role. Are you flexible with that, and how do you work that schedule with your clients?
Well, it's very flexible. I typically only spend about 4 hours in your home cooking your meals. I may visit you the most 2 times a week. So what it is like I make the menu. The menu coincides with the color of the containers that the food is in. Oh. It's not a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday type of a menu. It's like a red, yellow, green, blue menu. And it coincides with the containers of the same colors. And it's also numbered. So you know number 1 is an entree, number 2 is a starch, and number 3 is a veg. So if you want to mix and match with the colors, you know what you're mixing and matching. And I also leave you reheating instructions so that you know how to reheat your foods.
So you also incorporated the nutritional value of the meal so that
If they want
it's
to.
a well-rounded nutritional meal?
Yes, if they want to, I do. I can offer that also.
Well, we want to talk a little bit more about the cooking classes that you also offer, because it's something that I think is very unique. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion, and once again with personal chef Jersey Gonzalez Arroyo. In Jersey, we were talking about the great concept of I cook for you, but there are times where maybe you want to learn how to cook and prepare your meals. So you do offer cooking classes. Tell me about those.
So cooking classes are a lot of fun because you get to cook in the comfort of your own home, in your own kitchen. So essentially what I do, I just come in and I set out the tables of whatever menu item you guys decided to do, and I sit back and relax while you guys do all the chopping and the cooking.
So this is where you actually do work.
Yeah, this is where you actually do the work.
Is it typically one-on-one? Is it usually a group thing? Tell me how that
You
works.
could do a one-on-one. It's typically a group thing. A lot of times I do get families, and I also get like little parties, birthday parties, bridal showers, bachelorette parties.
Now, is this focus on maybe I'm a regular cook and I want to learn a new style of cooking, Chinese, or maybe learn Latino cuisine? Do you get those kind of requests, or it's just basic cooking?
Yes, I do. I get lots of different requests. I get Asian food, Greek foods, Spanish foods, all different types of foods. I have so many different menus to choose from, and then you would just actually just go look through those.
Now, I understand that most of your clients are perhaps women, but do you also get men who want to take classes?
Actually, the amount of people that I get are couples.
All right.
Couples and kids. Women, yes, also, but it's mainly the couples. They want to learn how to cook different foods together, and the kids just like to make messes in the kitchen.
So you touched a little bit about it. Obviously, you're paying for these classes, but it's well worth it because you get a lot more than just learning how to cook.
Yes, you get the experience. It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Let's talk about the special events, right? So you may have want to celebrate anniversary and want to have a candlelight dinner, and perhaps you want to brag about the fact that you help prepare it. You offer that as well.
Yes, I do. It's actually called the candlelight dinner. I transform your dining room into a restaurant. You have a server, and then you have me behind the scenes cooking all of your foods. I bring out menus, I bring out the chinaware, tablecloths. It's literally as if you are in a restaurant.
Oh, it sounds amazing. So certainly something that anyone could do.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, might I say.
Now, to sign up for the classes, how do you go about it?
You just go onto my website, and on the contact information, just fill out all that information on there, and down on the bottom of the notes, you just need to be a little bit thorough on exactly what it is that you would like to do.
And how about scheduling? Is it typically evening, day? How do you work the schedule for taking those classes?
It varies. It's really how and what you want. So if you want to do it midday, we could do midday. If you want to do it more at night, we can do it at night.
All right, so we're going to put up the contact information if anyone's interested in learning how to cook, maybe learn a new cuisine, whether it be Latino, Italian, or whatever. They could certainly take this route to learn how to cook.
Yes.
All right, we're going to talk a little more about a book. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. Once again here with Jersey Gonzalez Arroyo, who is a personal chef. And We were talking about, obviously, the cooking classes and the whole concept of I Cook For You, but you also in another project, which is a cookbook. Tell me about that.
So this cookbook is really dear to my heart. It's a bunch of recipes that I learned from my grandma, and it just brings back the great childhood memories. But it's very, very important to me because I want some of the proceeds of this book to help benefit and rebuild Puerto Rico.
And Puerto Rico has obviously been struggling. You have family there,
Yes.
as do I. And this proceeds are going to help Puerto Rico.
Yes, that's what my ultimate goal is. We just want to help and rebuild Puerto Rico.
So let's talk a little bit about this. I know that one of the things that we remember from our childhood is the nice dishes that our mothers or our grandmothers, abuelas, in your case was your abuela and my abuela, how they cooked that delicious meal. And sometimes it's hard to replicate. What advice do you give those who are trying to replicate something that their mother did or their grandmother did?
Well, if you're fortunate enough to have your grandmother still here to teach you those techniques, I would recommend taking a Ziploc bag and just hold it over the bowl where she's cooking as she's pouring her ingredients in, and then measure that out so that you can at least get somewhat close to what, it would taste like when she made it.
So try to follow try to create the recipe because they don't always measure, right? And
Exactly.
I see them how they go and just put stuff in there and you never know how much they put in. So it's hard to follow.
Yes, it is.
Now, the book is going to be available when? This is a work in progress currently?
Yes, it is a work in progress. I'm hoping for the book to be available within the next 2 months, and that's our ultimate goal. It's a lot of techniques, and I want to make sure all the wording is correct, and I just want to make sure that when people buy this book, if you are of the Latino heritage, that you look at this book and it's like, oh my God, I remember this, let's make it. I want people to be inspired by this book and actually bring back those old childhood memory foods that are really no longer around. I mean, they're still around, but you don't see much of it.
Yeah, it's hard to get a bacalaito, for example.
Yes, like a bacalaito, not the box kind, but make your own bacalaito or your bacalao ensalada.
And I hope pasteles, how to make your own pasteles from scratch is in that book. 'Cause
Pasteles
that's
will be in
hard,
it.
very hard to make.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me.
You're a chef. For us, it's probably not so easy.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. Once again here with Jersey Gonzalez Arroyo, who is a personal chef, and you also give a lot to the community involving a great deal of events, including the Food Network and some other activities. Tell me about those events.
So for the Fruit Network, they have festivals all the time. I just did one for South Beach in Miami, Florida. It was sponsored by Bacardi, and I actually did a Spanish dish there. We also have done Ocala Festival, which is all the way in Florida, which is the Ocala Food and Wine Festival. Okay. And I actually made a pernil there, and I just gave it a little bit of a gourmet twist to it. So I made pernil with a mango salsa with a tostone, just for a little flavor.
Yeah, that's perfect. Sounds very delicious.
It was really good, I have to say.
I'm just wondering how people learn about you and your business. I Cook For You. What other avenues you use to promote your business?
Besides my social media, I have done other things on local TV networks as well. But I believe that the majority of the people that find out about me is either through word of mouth or through all of the different type of events that I do.
You also have a personal connection to the American Liver Foundation. Tell me about that.
So every single year, the American Liver Foundation hosts this Flavors of Philadelphia, and it's a bunch of restaurants that donate their time for the American Liver Foundation for anyone who has any issues with any type of a liver. It's a great thing. I love doing it, and I absolutely love being a part of it every single year.
Now, I know that as a Latina, you found your passion in cooking, went to culinary school, started your own business. What advice do you give to other Latinos or Latinas who have that passion for cooking?
I say continue on working on your dream. Don't ever stop. You know, you never know what's going to happen. You never know who you're going to meet.
And the part where you actually went through culinary school, how vital was that? And would we recommend that as a career path for others who have this passion for cooking?
Yes, I absolutely do. If you really have a passion for cooking, I advise you to go to culinary school and try to learn as much as you can. Not everyone and not every chef has gone to culinary school, because I know a lot of chefs that learned most of their education really from working in the restaurants. So you don't necessarily have to go, but I mean, it's always a good thing to go to college and get a degree.
That's the apprenticeship role, if you will, obviously. And even after you finish college, it's a good idea. But obviously, those great opportunities with a college degree in culinary arts is always a good way to go.
Yes, it is.
Jersey, thank you again for coming on the show, sharing this wonderful information with our audience. I Cook For You. It's a great concept, and hopefully, maybe we could make it a segment here on Latino Motion.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, we'll talk.
All right.
Thank you for joining us at home once again here on Latino Motion.
Choose to get your feet wet, to learn more about protecting our environment.
Choose to read minds, to understand the human brain.
Choose to get your hands dirty, to create a masterpiece.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, a member of Geisinger. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas. Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.